Hello class, these are our notes for Algebra 1. Today we're looking at sections 210 and 211, connecting equations to graphs and graphing standard form. So here's our first example. A student club is raising money by selling popcorn and iced tea. The club is charging $3 per bag of popcorn and $1.50 per cup of iced tea, and plans to make $60. So this makes me think about our peer mentors down in Lower G Commons on Tuesdays, right? They are selling popcorn. They've got all those fun toppings for them. But now in this problem, they're selling iced tea as well. So if the club is charging $3 per bag of popcorn, that means if I buy 2 bags of popcorn, it's 3 times 2. If I buy 10 bags of popcorn, it's 3 times 10. So I'm always multiplying how much it costs by how much money I have, how many I'm buying, sorry. So if we're going to call popcorn our X, and let's see. So popcorn's going to be our X, and our Y is going to be the T. Then what I would have is 3X plus 150y, and then I want to make $60, so it's going to be equals 60. So that's how we come up with that. So again, let's remember that if we wanted like 2 bags of popcorn, I would do $3 times 2, and I would get $6. Or if I wanted 10 bags of popcorn, I would have to do 3 times 10, which is $30. So all we're doing here is we're saying, well, we don't know how many, so let's say the amount is X for popcorn and the amount is Y for iced tea. So this is one of those equations you really need to be able to to be able to write out on your own given a word problem. So this equation is written in standard form, and that's different than slope-intercept form. So standard form is AX plus BY equals C, where A, B, and C are integers, and our X and Y are on the same side. So it's really different from Y equals mx plus B. Y equals mx plus B is slope-intercept form. So different equations are good for different things. Slope-intercept form is really good for graphing and seeing our slope, our rate of change. But standard form is really good for a word problem like this, where we've got 2 different variables and we're kind of thinking through how they're changing together. It's good for money equations especially. So if they sell no bags of popcorn, how many cups of iced tea do they sell? Okay, so popcorn was our X. So if there's no bags of popcorn, so no popcorn means that our X is 0. So that means we're going to have 3 times 0 plus 150y equals 60. So 3 times 0 is just a 0. I can ignore that. So all I really have here is $1.50 times y equals 60. So I would need to divide both sides by $1.50. And I'm going to have to grab a calculator here or look at what I did earlier. I got y equals 40. So if I don't sell any popcorn to make $60, I would have to sell 40 iced teas. And on my graph, if I think of XY ordered pairs, this would be 0, 40. So if I am selling no iced tea, oh, I guess that's the next one. All right, this is called R. So 0, 40, 10, 20, 30, 40. I think we can go by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 would be right here, 40, 0. Or did I do this the other way around? Totally did this the other way around. We're solving for y, so I need to go on my y-axis. So let's go the other direction. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay, so here's our 0, 40. So y is our iced tea, and x is our popcorn. Okay. So this point is called the y-intercept. All right, and then I want to look at, it's weird to find the y-intercept first, but it doesn't really matter. If they sell no cups of iced tea, so that would mean, so if there's no iced tea, then that means our y is equal to 0. And that means my equation would now be 3x plus $1.50 times 0 equals 60. This is just 0, 3x equals 60, divide both sides by 3, and x equals 20. So if I sell 0 iced tea, then I would need to sell 20 popcorns. And that makes sense, right? The popcorn was a little bit more expensive. The popcorn was $3. So if I'm going to sell only popcorn, then I could get away with selling less of it. So that's going to be the ordered pair 20, 0. So let's go over 10, 15, 20. So 20, 0 would be right here. And so this is what we're looking at. That line is what we're looking at when we connect them. The second point is called our x-intercept that we found. So when x-intercept is on my x-axis, my y-intercept is on my y-axis. So x-intercept is on the x-axis. It's when y equals 0. My y-intercept is on my y-axis, and it is when my x equals 0. So these are kind of really important things to look at. We can reason the more popcorn they sell, the fewer cups of tea they have to sell to make the goal. In other words, as x increases, y decreases. If we graph the equation, the line will slant down from left to right. So a couple more, graphing using intercepts. If I want to graph the first one with intercepts, remember if I'm finding an x-intercept, I need to let my y equal 0. So that means I have 3x minus 4 times 0 equals 24. So 4 times 0 is just 0. So we have 3x equals 24. We divide both sides by 3, and x is 8. Now, think about how ordered pairs are x comma y. Our y is 0, our x is 8. So if I write x comma y, it's going to have to be 8 and then 0. And so I want to go ahead and make that point. All right, then I want to find my y-intercept. So I'm going to let x equal 0. So that means now I have 3x minus 4, forgot to put my 0 in for x. 3 times 0 minus 4y equals 24. This is a 0, negative 4y equals 24. Divide both sides by negative 4, and y is negative 6. So ordered pairs x comma y. Well, x was 0, y was negative 6, 0 comma negative 6. So there's my 0, negative 6, and then we'll go ahead and connect. So the second one we want to graph with intercepts as well, and this is maybe not a great way to do this one, but I feel like on this one the y-intercept is really easy to find. That's what we've been good at. Y-intercept, we let our x equal 0, which we've kind of been doing all along. Y equals 2/3 times 0 plus 4. 0 times anything is 0. Y equals 4. So that letting x equal 0 trick still works. It's just we're so ingrained to think y-intercept slope that we don't really think about why that's true. So this is 0 comma 4, and that's where I'm going to start on my y-axis. Normally we would just do a slope of 2/3. But we're going to try something different this time. We're going to find an x-intercept by letting y equal 0. So again, we're practicing this. It's not the best way to solve, but it's good for us to see that it can always work. So if I put a 0 in for my y, my solving steps would be first subtracting 4 on both sides, so that negative 4 is equal to 2/3 x. And then I would multiply both sides by the reciprocal, which is 3/2. So when I multiply on the right, 3/2 times 2/3 is just 1, and we get 6 over 6. It's just a 1x. On the other side, let's see, the 4 is over 1, so it's like negative 12 over 2, or negative 6. You could also just reduce the 4 and the 2. It's just pretty easy. I have no idea why I wrote a 0 instead of an x, except I'm just really tired. So let's go ahead and put the x in there. And so my second ordered pair is negative 6, 0. So let's go ahead and plot that. And then we're just going to connect them both. So it's just a different way to graph. I actually really like it for the first one when it's already in standard form. The second one, I do think graphing slope and y-intercept is going to be better. As always, class, if you need help, please make sure you ask.